Welcome once again to another Chef Knives to Go quick look product review. This time we have the Kamo VG-10 Suminagashi Bunka 165mm knife. So the way this knife is made, it's got a hardcore cutting edge steel in the middle of VG-10 full stainless steel, heat treat around 60. The construction has layers of soft stainless cladding on the outside, and then as it's ground you can see the layers kind of pop. That's the Suminagashi, which means like layers of paper, so, or you could call it Damascus if you wanted to, but kind of a subtle layering. It's not like super pronounced like you'll see sometimes. So it's kind of neat where you get kind of a standard polished sides to the blade, and then when the grind hits, you get those layers that pop. So it's an interesting kind of combination of aesthetics. The weight and dimensions on these can vary just a little bit from knife to knife, but again, it's an all stainless construction. The weight is about 6.4 ounces, 182 grams on this one. Edge length about 170, about 6.8 inches. And the overall length about 310 millimeters. You've got thickness-wise, came up with about 2.4 millimeters above the back of the heel, and then about 2.1 or so halfway down, and pretty much just kind of hold that thickness. It's a Bunka, so you got the kind of that reverse sword tip. Your grind kind of starts where you can see the layers, and then you can see the tip. So not super duper skinny, but it thins out with the grind. Here's the choil shot. Again, these aren't ground like super skinny at the edge. But there's your choil shot. The height is 46.8, about 47. You've got a gentle curve here in the choil, which is finished off on the corners a little bit for comfort. So is the spine. So you got a nice little spot there wherever you want to put your finger for a pinch grip. The handle is kind of ovally squarey, squoval, however you want to say that. It's got nice fit and finish. It's kind of an oak laminate, so it's a neat kind of warm look. Very cool looking. You've got an integrated bolster here that flows down into the rest of the knife, so it's got a nice sturdy feel to it, yet the handle is a little bit lighter than a traditional Western handle. The balance point is going to take that balance point to about right there, about pretty much where the back of the choil is, the back of the blade, right about there. Let's get our beauty shot on this guy. We do have hand chiseled kanji on the left side of the blade. So there's very nice touch. There we go. So we've got hand chisel kanji. Again, you can feel that with your fingers. You've got the layering right there. Again, a subtle layering, which is kind of nice. Sometimes the Suminagashi or Damascus can be a little in your face for some people. So this is one where it's a little more subtle if you don't want those layers just screaming out at you like some knives do. Some people love that. Some people think it's a little over the top. So this one has some subtlety to it. There's your cladding line and your core steel peeking out. So it's a pretty cool aesthetic on these. Fairly stiff blade. Out of the box edge, I'll give it 5, maybe 5 out of 10. It wasn't like super crazy sharp, but it'll get nice and sharp if you do your part. Here's what the cutting edge looks like. Kind of a typical Bunka knife. You've got, I'm going to need to sand down my board. It's kind of high in the middle and it wants to swivel on me. So fairly low tip right there, so you're not really going to rock this a lot. I'm getting in there before I start digging the tip in, but you can rock this a little bit. And then just kind of a gentle belly. I don't see a ton of flat on here, but it kind of just rolls all the way down. So it'd be nice for tip draws, push-pull cuts, glide cuts, maybe a little bit of chopping. I wouldn't say it's super flat like a Nikita or anything, but so cool looking package. The handle's really neat. Looks like it's got a protective coating on the handle as well. But just interesting looking package. So this is the Kamo VG-10 Suminagashi Bunka 165mm knife.